Hello, everyone. I'm about to give you my review of Vikings Season 1, Episode 1. But before we go on with this review, I just want to let everyone know there may be a few things that I missed, during this review. But I'm just going to nail down pretty much the main things that happened in the episodes. So, anyways, yeah. So, this series is based on the legend of Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons. Ragnar is known, throughout history as the scourge of both France and England. France and England, and eventually he's overcome by his own jealousy of his sons. He's thrown in the snake pit, and his sons, especially Ivar the Boneless and Bjorn Ironside, become greater than even the great Ragnar Lothbrok. So, anyways, episode 1 begins with Ragnar fighting with we don't really know who he is till later in the episode. Him and the guys fighting. It's a shitload of dead bodies on the field. See of soldiers on the field. Seem like him and the other guy, the only ones from their side that's still able to fight. So Ragnar and the guys going toe to toe with these guys. The guy helps Ragnar by throwing him an axe or a sword, and Ragnar impales the guy he's fighting straight through the side. It was just really gruesome. So, and you see the other guy, he cuts the dude he's fighting like straight like that. It was really the murders. The killings are really vicious. So, anyways, they're able to win, and the other guy pretty much collapses after the fight, and Ragnar pretty much says to him that thank you, brother. So we know that guy's his brother, and after the fight, Ragnar notices a Gandalf-like figure with the brim hat and the damn, in the cane. I would say cane staff. Gathering some of the soldiers from the battlefield all the way to the sky, which in Norse mythology I would assume to be Valhalla. So Ragnar is like really looking, saying, "Is this really happening?" He even rubs his eye and makes sure he isn't dreaming. Next thing you know, he doesn't see anything, and he kind of is like shocked and shit. So after that, we are introduced, to Ragnar and his family. You have him training his son. You have his wife and his daughter going out fishing. The daughter misses, she's pissed, but the mother's like, "I got this," and she gets the fish, and she said, "Let's go home." So after that, you have Ragnar and her having a little sexy time, and she was saying to him, "Don't see with that many women when you're away," you know. And he was like, "I could go without it for about 3 days." So they had a little moment. So after that, Ragnar is getting his son Bjorn ready for their little travel plans, which, as you get in the episode, I'll go into detail about that. So, but anyways, Lagatha says pretty much Bjorn's too young, and he's like, the boy's 12 years old, and plus it's very important for him to go right now. And then he also says, "You're a handsome boy with funny ears," and stuff like that. So they go on their way, and on their way to as they're walking towards their destination, we find out from Ragnar that they're going to the thing. The thing is where, in their culture, they go every summer. They talk about the summer raids and deal with criminal offenses. So, pretty much, Ragnar says that he's bored with doing the same thing over and over again, going to the east and all that shit. Pretty much saying that he wants to go to other places, other temples, and discover new gods and all that good shit. And he also tells Bjorn that Odin, who's a powerful figure in Norse mythology, the number one god in Norse mythology, saying that Odin gave his left eye for knowledge. But he would get much more. So after that, you have them, making camp. Him asking, Bjorn, you know, if anything were to happen to him, could he defend his family? Bjorn's like, "What are you talking about?" And beforehand, Ragnar, sort of reiterates the story about how he won Bjorn's, you know, his mother's hand in marriage, aka Lagatha, by strangling the hound and throwing a spear through the guy, bear's heart and all that shit. And, Bjorn's like, when Ragnar asks him, "Did she tell you the exact same story?" He's like, "Just about." So, yeah, you just had to mention that part. But pretty much Ragnar tells Bjorn to go to sleep, and Ragnar's really contemplating on the effects that his choice, his decision, will have for everyone, especially his family. So they make it to the thing. Ragnar meets up with the guy. We find out, I mean his brother. We find his brother's name is Rollo. Him, Ragnar, and Bjorn have a drink. Bjorn's a lightweight. Bjorn falls asleep, and Ragnar tells Rollo about a way to go west. And Rollo, as you can tell by his expression, it is the first time you hear Ragnar talk about going west. Ragnar finds a way through, you know, the sundial stone, and also the sundial, and also the sunstone. So, yeah, that's taken care of. Ragnar says, "Finally, go west." So, anyways, we go to the thing, and we find out there's this little dispute because some dude killed the other dude over some land or something, and pretty much the culture, if you're innocent of murder and it was self-defense, you're supposed to go through no more than 3 houses. But the guy went through more than 3 houses. He went past more than 3 houses. And they asked him why was that the case. He said, because I felt my life was in danger. And then he mentioned something about the Earl having a stake in the land, and the Earl silenced him. And then he was asking people, pretty much, everyone that was gathered, should he, be executed. And everyone pretty much thought that should happen, But it had to be unanimous, so Ragnar had to kind of hit his mirror in the stomach, Bjorn raised his hand and all that shit. So, yeah, after that shit is done. So after the guy's executed, but the Earl, who's the chieftain, he's the leader, he pretty much curses the guy, says, may he never go to Valhalla. And Ragnar and Rollo had a problem with that because he wasn't supposed to do that, And Ragnar was saying, this is the place we live in, boy. We live in a corrupted society. So, yeah, after that, Ragnar and Bjorn go meet Floki. Floki is apparently a boat builder. And he does this really creepy and interesting thing in which he looks at Bjorn. He's like, let me see. And he pokes his nose and his eyes. He was like, you have your father's eyes, unfortunately. And then Ryan's like, why unfortunately? And Floki's like, because he will be like you. And therefore he wants to do better than you. And you will hate him for it. Just funny how he just went away after Ragnar threatened him with the cane, just like a jokester. So they go into detail about the boats, the long boats. So Floki saw him how he found a new way on how to make it more lighter, more maneuverable in the water, and all that good stuff. And Ragnar gives him the remaining money from last year's summer's raid. So after that, Ragnar and Bjorn go back home. Ragnar's fucking the shit out of Lagertha. He asks her, did anything happen to her while he was gone? And Lagertha doesn't mention to him that there was these 2 creepy dudes that wanted to bang her, and she beat the shit out of them. One, I believe she branded in the face with a sword. The other one, I think she got a hook and put it through his mouth and his balls, and just ran it through. It was disgusting, vicious. But that was hot. She's one sexy woman, and she could fight too. But yeah, besides that, she's like, nah, nothing. So they're having sex. Bjorn's outside. Rollo comes, and Rollo's like, where's your parents? And Bjorn's like, they're having sex. And all that stuff. And him and his uncle have some, quality time with each other. Fun games. So after that, everyone's at dinner. Rose asked about Gita, asked if her mother taught her anything about the Shield Maidens, trainer. She's like, yes. So long story straight, the children are sent to bed, and Rollo and Ragnar talk about going west. And Rollo's like, I will not sit under your command. We must be equal. And Ragnar's like, obviously, brother, we're going to be equals. We're brothers. We will always be equal, So Ragnar goes, takes a piss, and it's obvious that Rollo and Ragnar's wife had a little bit of history. It seemed like she has feelings for him, but obviously she's married to his brother, and she's pretty much said to him that really came at his neck. And he was like, don't mock me, Shield Maiden. She was like, yes, you know what I mean? So you're a great warrior, but I'm not so sure about such a great man. So Ragnar comes back, and they all pretty much that was the end of the scene. And pretty much just to end this review, Ragnar, Rollo, and Floki test the boat. Floki's afraid it's going to sink. Turns out it didn't sink, and it works just fine. Even better than he, expected. And then you have one of the Earl's men, watching from afar. Because earlier, Ragnar came to Earl's neck saying that we always